Codename Leggett calling Base Command. Come in, Base Command.
Base Command here. Patching secondary stream.
Codename Chance here. Ready for mission briefing.
You two met on Nar Shaddaa, so I'll skip the introductions. Welcome to Taris. 1,000 years of civilization reduced to toxic muck.
I'm glad we're getting the chance to work together.
Thank you, sir. You impressed us at the droid factory.
A long time ago, Taris was a Republic world. A Sith Lord bombed it. Now we're trying to rebuild, and the Empire's unhappy.
Your people said shock troops. Devastator units.
It's a mess. The last thing we need is a rogue element, but that's what we've got. Along with Sith and Republic troops, there's a corrupt Jedi down there. You're going to stop her.
I thought Jedi was supposed to be incorruptible.
They're not perfect, but they're supposed to know better. Kai Sazen, Jedi Knight and hero of Tazla. Rising star in the Jedi Order, but she's rotten to the core. Half her missions end with someone dying. Technology and artifacts disappear from under her protection.
Her last report said she'd come to Taris because the Force called her here.
I believe Kai Sazen is building a power base. I need you to find out how and why, and bring me hard evidence.
You sound like you're taking this personally.
I'm disappointed is all, but you're right. No good fretting. Chance will be your contact. He'll take it from here.
Yes, sir. Surveilling Kai Sazen has been difficult, but we believe she recently mounted a raid on an Empire-controlled laboratory. We'll begin our investigation there. You need to obtain access to the laboratory from Imperial Command.
You said Kai Sazen is interested in technology. What exactly was she looking for?
That's what I'd like you to find out. Now, get to work, both of you. Base Command out.
Sir, I'll monitor your holocalls to track the investigation. I'll be in touch soon.
Attention on deck!
I'm tracking a Jedi, and I need immediate access to the research laboratory in this sector.
You're talking about the Godera laboratory?
Apologies, sir. I didn't realize you were coming. Lieutenant Nida, liaison officer.
I wasn't expecting to be recognized.
I asked that all intelligence arrivals be flagged. Aside from the Sith, you're our most important resource.
Contacting the laboratory for clearance, sir.
Your associate should be at the lab already. He took a security team about a week ago. You'll find it in good hands.
Yes. I'm sure everything will be fine.
I can't pick up anything from the laboratory comm, but there's something on a secondary channel.
To base, Dr. Lokin is safe, but the rat ghouls are everywhere. Orange-level infestation. We'll attempt to...
Get it back!
I can't. Our team must have been overrun by the rat ghouls. We'll have to burn the whole lab.
This Rakghoul infestation, what is it?
The Rakghouls are mutants, victims of a Tarisian plague that alters human physiology.
Standing orders are to cluster bomb nest sites to contain the infestation.
You want to reach the lab to track your Jedi, you'll be facing a swarm. I can't offer anything but aerial bombardment.
Your security officer said Dr. Lokin was safe. Who's Dr. Lokin?
He's the intelligence officer I mentioned. I don't know much else. If you need him, I can put the bombers on hold, but you'll have to clear the Rakghouls manually.
You take me to the best places. We go looking for a Jedi, you show me a Rakghoul nest. I've seen spice dens cleaner than this.
You can lower your weapon. There are no Rakghouls in here. The late Private Rallan dispatched the last of them before succumbing.
Cypher 9, Imperial Intelligence. You must be Dr. Lokin.
Yes. Official designation, Fixer 15. How good to meet you. Watcher 4 assigned me here for a cleanup operation. I assume you're here for a similar reason?
My orders are to find a Jedi called Kai Sazen. I'm told she's been here.
Isn't that interesting? Follow me. Mind the bodies. This laboratory belonged to a man named Nason Godera. Utterly brilliant. Invented everything from durable plastifoam to the death-marked laser. But his relationship with the Republic is rocky. By the time we captured this sector, he was already gone. I came to catalogue the contents of his lab, and I wasn't the first.
Go back to Nason Godera. What happened to him?
Back in Republic space. But the laboratory hasn't been empty. Watch.
Is that the last of the defenses? Stay on your guard and destroy the monitors. Then find the device.
They stole research, equipment, and something Nason Gadera called an ultra-wave transmitter. I haven't a clue what it does. I suggest we pool resources. A fixer and a cipher investigating a thieving Jedi for Imperial Intelligence.
What was the research they took? And the ultrawave transmitter?
It transmits something called an ultrawave. Without the laboratory files, I can't do more. This wasn't the only recent raid on a science facility. This planet attracts brilliance, and someone has been purloining databanks across the ruins. Based on the pattern, I suspect the Jedi's next target is an abandoned bioresearch facility near a red-level Rakghoul colony. We can find it together.
There must be a reason she's going after these places.
That's what we need to discover. You should be able to locate the facility by triangulating its signal from the swamps. I'll correlate the data. You intercept the Jedi.
So you're hanging out here, with the corpses and the Rakghouls.
It is my burden. Here's the triangulation device. Give my regards to the toxic swamp.
This is Chance to Leggett. Come in, Leggett. I know you're busy, sir, so I'll keep it short. Any progress finding Kai Sazen?
I met a Dr. Lokin at Nason Gadera's lab. He thinks Sazen is raiding facilities across Taris. I'm en route to one now.
That's great. That name rings a bell, though. Hold on. Dr. Eckard Lokin, Imperial Intelligence. 12 confirmed kills over 30 years. Not a lot in the file. Be careful with that man, okay? And contact me when you find anything.
Authority looks good on you.
That wasn't really what I was going for, but thank you. And for the record, I don't agree with how Master Koth is using the command codes. I'd like to make up for it.
Cypher, I think we have our lead. I'm receiving faint signals from an old Tarisian transport station. Were I a betting man, I'd say our bio-research lab, our Jedi's next target, is in there.
Any idea where Sazen is now?
None. And I can't even say whether she'll visit the facility personally. That's where your field expertise comes in. I look forward to your findings.
They're of one mind, like a swarm. But where is their queen?
You are not to be here. You are not welcome.
You must be Kai Sazen's henchman.
You speak her name. You are not worthy. Die! Striking at the servants of Kai Sazen, you have sealed your fate. I may die, but she will never be defeated.
What are you talking about? Why are you so devoted to a Jedi?
Kai Sazen saved my people. She was only a Padawan when she came to Tasla and slew the spine dragon of Mdweshu. It was she who brought the Nikto to Taris. We swore our lives to her, and I will tell you nothing.
You'll talk sooner or later. Improvised interrogations are my speciality. For example, this is a bio-research lab, isn't it? What do you think would happen if I injected you with these chemicals?
You would not.
We don't know what this place was built for.
Of course, I should probably test the dosage on your men first.
Enough! I will not. I will not allow that. We came to find the secrets of the ultrawave transmitter, a machine crafted by Nasan Godera. Its signals are the song of the Rakghouls. It controls their colonies. When it is ready, they will be her army.
What's a Jedi going to do with a Rakghoul army?
She will rule the stars, but not yet. The ultrawave transmitter was never completed. That is our task. The three chosen of Kai Sazen, each with our own mission. I was to obtain Rakghoul biological research from this, the laboratory of Dr. Durant. The chosen Bokeh seeks data on colony movements. The chosen Fentar seeks a Republic scientist, Dr. Iana Sel, to complete the device. They will triumph soon.
And Kai Sazen? Where is she?
I have told you of my brothers so they may meet you in battle, but I will tell you nothing more.
I appreciate your help. Don't take this personally.
We don't lack for enemies. Maybe it's time to contact friends.
This is Legate to Chance. We have a situation with Kai Sazen.
Chance here, sir. I'm listening. Building a rat ghoul army with the ultrawave transmitter? Why? She has 2 more sets of followers then. One going after this Republic scientist, one after the rat ghoul colony data. We'll have to split up to stop them both.
Now I get to see how much you can handle.
Are you? Never mind. Later. I'll try to find our scientist before the Nikto do. If this Dr. Sel works for the colonists, I should have a shot. You need to figure out where they'd go for rat ghoul colony scans.
I'll talk to Dr. Lokin. He knows the science, and he knows Taris. He could be our lead.
I was afraid you'd say that. All right, but don't trust him. Chance out.
Cypher, back with hardly a scratch. And here I am, practically electrocuting myself on Nason Gadera's equipment. How embarrassing.
What exactly have you been doing?
I'm still piecing together this and that. Nason Gadera may have been brilliant, but he was not a studious record keeper. So, any luck finding our Jedi?
Kai Sazen is trying to use the ultrawave transmitter to control rak ghouls. But she needs data on rak ghoul colony movements. I want to stop her servants from getting it.
Aye. That is worrisome. Rak ghouls are a hobby of mine. If I wanted rak ghoul colony data, I'd set up a sensor net to collect field readings. If I didn't have a sensor net, I'd use the settlers' sensors along the military front lines. Full of data your friends will want, unless you claim it first.
Should I expect Republic resistance?
Almost certainly. Though I have something that might help. My own recipe of colto-derivative combat stimulants. Medicine to make you more deadly. Against your enemies, you'll need it.
Now let's hope we can keep the data out of Kai Sazen's hands.
This is Chance to Legate. Can you hear me?
Legate to Chance. I stopped Kai Sazen's servants. They won't be getting that rak ghoul colony data.
Fantastic. I wish my news were that good.
Have you been injured?
Yeah, blaster burns. But the shrapnel's worse. I tracked down that scientist Kai Sazen is after. She agreed to meet me in the ruins. I was on my way when Imperial scouts spotted me. I ditched them, but I'm bleeding fast.
Don't move. Tell me where you are and I'll be there soon.
Look, I have to be sure. Keyword, onomatophobia. I'm ordering you to my location at Dynamite General. Sending coordinates now.
I am on my way to Dynamite General.
I'm sorry, Cypher. It's just... I don't want to die like this.
They can't resist using it. But you still have your mind. You can still think. That's your escape.
Chance, I came to meet you.
Thank you. I'm not... Please, listen. Iana's cell is in here somewhere. The scientist Kai Sazen needs to repair the ultrawave transmitter. The scientist will only meet with SIS. Tell her the password. Gemstone.
You don't look good. Can you get to a medic?
If you can patch me up, I can... If you patch me up, I can get to an evac point. Keyword,
Hold still. I'll do what I can. Can you move?
I think so. I can make it as far as a Republic airlift. Thank you. Now find the scientist. Keep her safe from Kai Sazen.
You let him live. Now he still has control, but he trusts you. Useful.
I don't know what you are or where you're coming from. Just go away. Dr. Lancel, I'm with the SIS. Password Gemstone. You agreed to meet with us?
Don't move. Just... hell. I barely know how to fire one of these things. You have no idea how glad I am to see you. I've been hiding from that Jedi for weeks.
Have you been holed up in here this whole time?
Mostly. I've been living off ration bars and some kind of edible hospital gel that even the rack ghouls won't touch. Let me show you something. I kept it with me as evidence.
Dr. Sell, you haven't returned my calls. That's disappointing. The Jedi have plans for the rat ghouls, but I can't move forward without your support. Turn yourself over to the Nikto, or I'll make my case to you in person.
She's not a Jedi. She already killed Dr. Vernon and Professor Vrawl when they couldn't fix some transmitter. I'm the last rat ghoul expert on Taris.
If you really are the last, then it's over. The ultrawave transmitter is a dead project.
Assuming she doesn't find another way. And if she's halfway there... if that's yours, I can wait.
What is it?
Cypher, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I believe I have a solution for both you and Dr. Sell.
You want to explain where you heard that name?
Yes, well, I was hoping you wouldn't ask that.
Who is this?
Dr. Eckard Lokin. I saw your lecture on xenometaphoric epidemiology. I understand your misgivings. How did he track me here? How did he survive the ruins unscathed? Both reasonable questions. But like you, I'm a resourceful person, and we do share a common goal. We're all friends of the Republic here. Right, Dr. Sell?
You're starting to make me wonder. That's not good for your prospects.
Paranoia can be healthy, but it doesn't get you closer to the Jedi. Only Dr. Sell can do that, by revealing that I am her assistant.
You've gotta be kidding.
I know Rack Ghoul science well enough to convince Sazen that I'm an adequate substitute for Sell. I'll be taken to the ultrawave transmitter. Once captive, I signal you, and you find Sazen and the transmitter. And rescue me, of course.
Would Sazen believe this man is your assistant?
What's the difference between a Hirano strain of the rat ghoul virus and the Bozan variant?
Mutation of the Claudite-derived gene sequence.
She'll believe him.
Doctor, please contact the authorities on an unsecured channel. Tell them your assistant is at Dynamet General and must be found.
It's your life on the line. Just be careful. Both of you.
One last thing while I wait to be captured. There is a chance the Republic will jam my signal to you. Before you come for Sazen, you'll have to sabotage their jamming stations. They're guarded by wilderness troopers. A good warm-up for fighting a Jedi Knight. Cypher, this is Dr. Lokin. I hope you're receiving this because I'm not going to get another chance. I'm inside Sazen's base. She and her people are housed in an abandoned tunnel system in the main Republic compound. The ultrawave transmitter is here. When you arrive, I'll do my best to cause a ruckus, but please hurry.
This is Base Command to Leggett. I just heard from Agent Chance. His injuries are extensive. You are now primary on this mission.
Is Chance going to recover?
He'll live. Whether he'll come back on duty, I don't know. Keyword onomatophobia. Your new objective is to retrieve the ultrawave transmitter from Sazen. I still want the Jedi taken down if possible, but she can't be our priority.
What makes the ultrawave transmitter important?
That's not your concern. Just get it back to me. May the Force be with you. Base Command out.
The song of the universe becomes cacophonous. Be wary.
Funny. When the Nikto said a girl was coming after me, I thought she'd be a challenge.
And when I heard a Jedi was leading a Nikto cult, I thought she'd be older than 12.
It is her. She who killed my brothers.
Easy, Fentar. We can call each other names. but I'm about to become ruler of all Taris. And then, when I own this place, I'll take my cult and my Rakghouls and make a nasty little paradise for anyone who swears loyalty.
I thought Jedi was supposed to be passionless.
I tried that. It bored me.
Kutogi kumpa, Gigi no lia makechisa.
Not now! I'm going to deal with you. I am going to kill you. And then back to business.
Take it slowly.
Oh, you cheating little... The Nikto said you were good, but I'm still their savior. When I'm gone, they'll sing the death song of Threshalu. What do you say to that?
You're strong, ambitious, and you have no loyalty to the Republic. There's a place for you in the Empire.
Are you... Is that why you came all this way? To stop me and then recruit me when I'm down?
Your position among the Sith would be secure. The only price I ask is the ultrawave transmitter.
My ticket to freedom. I could live with being called Lord Sazen. The Nikto will retrieve your payment. But I need to go, before the Republic comes to see what all the fuss is about.
Bosca stupa.
How invigorating. Cypher, I hope you don't mind that I freed myself. I wanted the chance to look through Kai Sazen's research.
I think you owe me an explanation.
Yes, I was hoping to smooth things over by recovering the ultrawave transmitter for you, but you clearly didn't need the help.
Your scent is purely human. How?
You're understandably suspicious. As soon as we distance ourselves from the Republic Army, I promise to answer all your questions.
No more delays, Doctor. Explain.
The short version, then. Yes, I used you to gather data on the Rakghouls. Kai Sazen was collecting research, you were after Kai Sazen. And as you've seen, I'm using the data for a side project. I find the Rakghoul virus bracing.
Get a team in! Something's going on!
That would be the Republic. May we reconvene later?
Rendezvous at the Imperial Command Center. And don't get killed on the way.
I'll do my very best.
Dr. Lokin.
Cypher. I'd like to make a proposal. For 5 minutes, you and I pretend to trust one another. We lay our cards on the table. No lies, no hidden recorders, just truth.
Why don't you start by telling me why you're on Taris?
As I told you before, I came to Taris to further my studies of the Rakghouls. Kai Sazen stole research I desired. My goal was to perfect a custom strain of the Rakghoul virus. Keyed to my own genetic structure, it currently allows free reversion between human and Rakghoul forms.
I don't understand. You wanted to become a Rakghoul?
There are advantages. Consider an unarmed operative who could enter a secure location and grow teeth. I'm merely a test subject. Of course, our superiors wouldn't agree with my choice of personal projects. It seems both of us lied about being sent here by Imperial Intelligence.
That's a very interesting theory. Maybe you should explain.
I don't think too much elaboration is wise. But your unusual contacts? Your search for the ultra-wave transmitter? I understand, Cypher, that working without official sanction can be a necessary evil. But, given what we know about one another, I think I ought to stay close to you. An alliance rather than mutual destruction.
We keep an eye on each other and our secrets stay hidden. Maybe we'll even get some work done.
I'll gather my belongings and meet you on board. Oh, and one last thing. About the ultra-wave transmitter. You know that Nason Gadera was notorious for hiding secrets in his devices? Encrypted codes, maps to lost projects? Just something I heard. I'll see you shortly.
He's an odd man. And there's something in his eyes. We'll watch him.
Cypher, I've finished unpacking the last of my equipment. Between your ship's onboard systems and my custom apparatus, you'll soon have the finest in-flight laboratory in the sector.
This in-flight laboratory of mine, does it serve a particular purpose?
For now, I expect to find it occupied by the Rakghoul data we procured. But I'm sure we'll find other uses. Officially, of course, I'm in semi-retirement, monitoring background radiation somewhere in the Zetan wastes. Unofficially, I'm very much looking forward to traveling with you.
What exactly is your position in Imperial Intelligence?
Let's just say the current administration is happy that I'm off Drummond Cass. But they're willing to turn a blind eye. Should you need anything from me, you only have to ask. Although if you want my genetic code rewritten, let me know before we leave the ship.
I thought you could become a Rakghoul whenever you wanted.
It's somewhat more complicated and time-consuming. Well, nothing to be concerned with, but rarely an option in the field. Good day. Cypher, join us. Vector and I were just discussing Moff Letshara.
We never met her, of course.
Quite fortunate, that. But Vector did know her husband, a fine Dejarik player and a scribe of the Ilfmar Gambit.
We apparently share the Doctor's taste in theatre.
By all means, continue.
I wouldn't want to take your time, but Master Vector, we should talk again.
Of course, Doctor.
Your crew members are delightful people. For instance, did you know Mistress Kaleo is fluent in Kalish profanities? A rare and admirable skill. I wonder how you manage them. Leadership is such a delicate thing.
You sound like you've thought about this.
I confess it had crossed my mind. A dead or alienated colleague is a resource lost, and in our business, it's a small step from being disliked to being blacklisted.
Alienate enough people and you find yourself running unauthorized missions on a dead planet.
Quite. I could tell you stories. But I'm afraid I have to attend to my data analysis program. Another time, Cypher. My good friend, allow an old man some sentiment and join me for a reminiscence. Today is the 13th anniversary of the death of Cypher 12, one of the finest agents I've ever worked with.
You have my sympathies, Doctor.
No need for that. It has been 30 years. But I like to pay my respects. Cypher 12 was one of the old guard from before the war. He cultivated allies on the fringes. By the time he received his Mandalorian brands, he'd also become verbally abusive in private, but he never cracked on the job. Always had a smile.
Were you partners?
I was technical advisor on several of his assignments, and we shared a taste in Mirialan cuisine. Eventually the odds caught up with him, and a Hapani royal assassin punctured his lungs. Inevitable, really. Are you aware how few ciphers survive past year 5?
The odds aren't good for any of us.
Quite so. I admire the line you walk between obedience and ingenuity. Unfortunately, your methods breed enemies. Be careful not to end up without recourse.
There's some truth there, I'll admit. We'll see what happens.
Friendly advice from one who knows. I've made it through a very long career by choosing my partners wisely. I've outlasted them all, and I intend to keep doing so. Cypher, I had the most delightful conversation with Master Vector. Did you... I'm getting a feed on my earpiece. One moment. I apologize. That's the third time this week one of my security alarms has gone off.
I take it these alarms don't particularly worry you?
I monitor all my safe houses as a matter of course. I have a few dozen around the galaxy. A precaution, really. I haven't needed them in years. Usually when an alarm goes off, it means a child has come exploring, or a rat has slipped through the ventilation shafts.
You've got havens set up. What's in them?
You know the sort. An abandoned building here, a fortified wine cellar there, stocked with necessities of the trade. Most of them aren't on the official books, but I assure you, they're hardly incriminating.
Remind me not to underestimate you, Doctor. If we ever need a sanctuary...
You'll have whatever humble aid I can provide.
Doctor, you wanted to talk?
Yes, and I'm terribly sorry to take your time, but I have a small request. To be frank, it's a bit of an embarrassment.
If you need to start feeding on humanoid blood, I don't think I can arrange it.
You almost sound like you disapprove. It's nothing of the sort. I told you before about my safe houses, how my intruder alarms have been going off. Well, I attributed it to local happenstance. I may have been mistaken. My safe house on Balmora exploded.
Would you like to elaborate on that?
Very much, but my scanners melted 0.7 milliseconds after activation. I could theorize regarding who did this and why, but truthfully, all I know is someone bypassed Imperial security to get inside. I'll need to see the safe house in person. I'll return as soon as I can.
This isn't the time to play coy. Who do you think did this?
Shall I enumerate everyone who holds a grudge? I'm not being evasive. It is a very long list. Now, if you'll excuse me, my safe house awaits. Well, I'm afraid the news is mixed. My safe house did, indeed, burn to the ground, along with 3 would-be assassins who were attempting to wire it with explosives. Apparently, my security triggered their bombs prematurely.
Do you booby-trap all your safe houses? Or just the ones your enemies know about?
You make it sound like I used safe houses as bait. I did acquire genetic samples of the intruders. I'll be running traces shortly. One was a human male. The others, uncertain. Regardless, they used Imperial equipment and codes to get inside. Someone in the Empire wants me dead.
This could be a frame job. It wouldn't be hard to arrange.
A wise assertion, although the particulars suggest otherwise. One way or the other, I take comfort in the fact that I'm once again viewed as a threat. My days in retirement are over.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Forgive me, but as your sole medical officer, I have to point out that your eating habits have been less than satisfactory lately. Now, I'll take my share of the blame. I've been preoccupied making calls, catching up on what I've missed in the intelligence community. Still, the fact that people are trying to kill me does not excuse my neglect of your health.
Tell me, do you take joy in being obnoxious?
I haven't any idea what you mean. Now, regarding my search, I do have some small amount of news. I've identified one of the assassins as an operative for Colonel Langor, a man with ties to the Imperial Science Bureau. The Bureau is also the likely origin of the other dead men whose genetic structure had been mutated. Weaponized humans.
What do you mean, weaponized humans? What's the Science Bureau doing?
Military research is the Bureau's purpose. Making humans stronger, faster, is one approach. Which reminds me, I'd like your permission to run some tests on Master Vector. I'm rather curious about a joiner's physiology, and Vector is keen to learn more about himself.
No hidden agenda? Just scientific interest?
And a desire to help a bright young man come to terms with his new self. Believe it or not, I rather like Vector.
If it won't cause harm, I don't have any objections.
Wonderful. I'll let him know the good news. And of course, I'll keep you apprised. My good friend, Have you noticed that the price of Dianogan tea has risen considerably since we broke the Treaty of Coruscant? One of the costs of war you never anticipate. And now my jamming device is working, so we can dispense with the inanities.
Don't tell me you've only been chatty to fool eavesdroppers.
I enjoy sparkling conversation as much as the next man, but today we have business. Thanks to a now wealthy Kubaz information broker, I've identified the people who want me dead. They represent an organization called Project Protean, a secret research and development group inside the Imperial Science Bureau.
What does Protean do? And what do they want?
Protean researches practical applications of alien biology. You recall the genetically modified assassins who came after me? They're only the beginning. Imagine troops spliced with Abyssin genes to enhance healing, or adrenals derived from Gamorrean hormones. Most test subjects don't fare well, but you can see the potential.
That sounds awfully like what you were doing on Taris.
There's a great deal of interdepartmental rivalry in our work, and my research does overlap with theirs. They may have targeted me in order to ensure that they have no competition, inside or outside the Empire.
This is your operation. What's our next step?
Further study, I'm afraid. Right now, I'm unsure where the project is based or how to contact its members, but I wanted to keep you apprised. Now, about that Dianogan tea. A moment. Hour 36. Subject exhibiting a low-grade fever and elevated N-cell counts. I will proceed to the second formula. Apologies for that, Agent. Bioexperiment logs wait for no man.
There's not a lot you can do to surprise me.
Well, I told you about Project Protean and their research into alien genetics. I managed to gain access to one of their databanks. Nothing incriminating there, but I was impressed by their scientific data. I've been adapting it for my own studies into the Rakghoul virus.
Do I want to know how you acquired Protean files?
They make the mistake of sharing supercomputing resources with other Science Bureau divisions. From there, it gets technical. In any case, I'm undergoing my second day incubating the newly modified virus. If it doesn't break down my cell structure entirely, I should emerge revivified.
You become a stronger, faster man-eater.
More important, the change itself will be less taxing. It's not unpleasant as is, but it leaves me with a tremendous headache. Now, if you'll excuse me, this fever is becoming distressing.
Agent, you can bear witness. Dr. Lokin has agreed to hike Cars Falls with us if we visit the Cars City Opera.
Vector's musical tastes are, frankly, unsophisticated. I'm only trying to help.
Then we have a deal.
Well, that can wait. Right now, there's something the three of us must discuss.
Would you care to tell me what's going on?
We're in the dark as well.
As you are both aware, I've been investigating Project Protean, an off-the-books division of the Imperial Science Bureau.
The people who want you dead.
Precisely. Their research is focused on human-alien genetic splicing. I've studied their files, along with your own physiology, Master Vector, and I've come to a conclusion. Project Protean arranged your meeting with the Killiks so they could study the joining.
Why would they do that? And why Vector?
Thanks to the Killiks, he's stronger, more capable. An ideal soldier or infiltrator.
A science experiment.
For what it's worth, I don't believe it was personal. They wanted a test subject, and you were on Alderaan already.
What do you think of all this?
We think we are who we are. But we prefer not to be someone else's puppet.
Understandable. They have files on the Killiks, ways to hurt joiners or to heal them. They may have altered Vector or simply observed him. I consider it our obligation to find Project Protean and end them, for Vector's sake as well as mine.
You've pulled a lot of data on these people. Finish the job.
It will be my pleasure.
If you'll excuse us, we'd like to commune with the Hive.
You don't want my advice, but I'll give it anyway. Vector knows who he is. Give him time to be sure of it. Agent, I've been continuing my research into Project Protean. The fine people who want me dead, and who are responsible for Vector's condition. I have the location of their headquarters.
That's quite a breakthrough. How did you get that information?
By exchanging favors, then spending 82 hours deciphering data cube manufacturing codes. Protean's main laboratory is on a planetoid in the subterral sector. Security is tight, but not impervious. I've arranged transportation for Vector and myself. He deserves to know the truth about his victimizers.
If you're moving against Protean, I ought to be there. Besides, you'll need assistance.
I'm afraid this is a personal matter, and I am capable of operating on my own. I plan to learn exactly why Protean tried to kill me and recover their data on Master Vector. The rest we can play by ear.
I want that man back in one piece. Understood?
Of course. We'll see you again when this is over.
We have returned from Project Protean. The task is done.
And I have promises to keep. It seems Protean was based on prior experiments in alien biology. My prior experiments. I had no proof until I discovered certain former associates in the Protean lab. But I've ensured that they will not misuse my research again.
How exactly were you involved in Project Protean's origins?
Some years ago, I worked on Project Harvest. I had an attack of conscience, resigned, and took my research with me. Or so I thought.
Your associates said you left because you wanted more control.
They would, wouldn't they? Now they've been dealt with. In return for my generosity sparing the laboratory, I've been appointed unofficial Protean director. From now on, every experiment, every assay goes through me.
That's quite a victory. What do you plan to do with that authority?
Protean serves a function, bringing the benefits of alien biology to all people.
Starting with its work on joiners.
But your Protean files have already been deleted, and the Killick experiments stopped.
That's not enough. No more treating people as test subjects. You'll reform Protean, and I'll be watching.
I have no desire to make you into an enemy.
He offered to try and cure us. We refused, of course. We don't entirely understand him, but we don't blame him for Protean's work, or for our joining, whatever his part really was.
You forgive him that easily? He means something to you.
We don't think he likes people. We don't know why he tolerates us, but he does, and we're grateful. We don't always have to trust our friends.
Doctor, what can I do for you today?
I was just thinking what a fine team we've made. You realize that when we met, I had an extremely low opinion of you. I assumed you'd earned your position through political connections. I made that mistake with an agent once before.
As I recall, you were full of compliments when we met.
Guilty as charged. The agent I'm thinking of, he was promoted to Keeper and eventually Minister. A very clever man who will have my eternal respect. Your path may be similar to his. Given that and the state of our empire, I believe it's wise if I continue to advise you.
I believe it's wise to keep you at my side.
Then you're learning. In any case, I'm at your disposal. And one of these days you should consider training more operatives. I'll be happy to grant my insight.